Here's your script, written in the same mechanic voice style as your example, fully fact-checked against current reliability data, repair cost figures, and known engine problems. It runs about 3,100 words. 5 trucks, that'll last a lifetime, and the 3 that'll drain your savings. Last week, a guy texted me a photo of his transmission sitting on a shop floor in pieces. 87,000 miles. He paid 40 grand for that truck new, and right now it's worth less than the tow bill that got it to me. Meanwhile, 3 lots over from where he bought it, there's a pickup with 240,000 miles on the odometer that I'd hand to my own kid tomorrow without a second thought. After 22 years under the hood, here's the thing nobody tells you. The badge on the tailgate barely matters. The engine code stamped on the block tells you everything. Today, I'm giving you the 5 trucks I'd bet my own money will outlive their owners, and the 3 that quietly bankrupt good people, 1 repair at a time. Let's get into it. Number 5, Nissan Frontier. I'll start with the one nobody talks about, and that's exactly why it's a deal. The second-generation Frontier barely changed from 2005 all the way to 2021. Same body, same bones, same engine. Car magazines hated that. Mechanics love it, because when something is that simple and that unchanged, every part is cheap, every job is fast, and there are no surprises hiding in the design. The heart of it is the 4.0-liter V40D V6. Naturally aspirated, no turbo to cook itself, and a timing chain instead of a belt. It makes around 261 horsepower, which is plenty for a mid-sized truck, and it just runs. I have pulled valve covers on these at 200,000 miles and found nothing scary inside. It is not a refined engine. It idles a little rough, and it drinks more fuel than it should. But stout? Absolutely. Now here's where I earn your trust, because there's one thing you have to know before you buy one. The 2005 through 2010 Frontiers with the automatic transmission had a radiator defect. Guys in the shop call it the strawberry milkshake of death. The transmission cooler is built inside the radiator, and when the internal barrier fails, coolant and transmission fluid mix into a pink, milky sludge that destroys the transmission, sometimes in a matter of weeks, often with no warning. Nissan extended the warranty on those years, but the trucks are well past that now. So here's the play. Either buy a 2011 or newer Frontier, where the radiator was redesigned and the problem is gone, or buy an earlier one only if it already has an aftermarket radiator and a separate external transmission cooler installed. When you go look at one, the first thing you do is pull the transmission dipstick and check the color of the fluid. If the fluid is pink, milky, or smells like coolant, you walk. If it is clean and red, you're fine. Also have someone scan it for camshaft and crankshaft position sensor codes, because those occasionally fail on these, and it is a cheap fix but a good negotiating point. You can find clean later model Frontiers cheaper than almost anything comparable from Toyota. Same job, half the hype. And the next one I'm about to show you breaks every rule you think you know about what makes a truck reliable. Number 4, Honda Ridgeline. Truck guys are going to send me angry comments about this one, and that's fine, because they're wrong. The Ridgeline doesn't have a separate frame. It's a uni-body, built on the same platform as the Honda Pilot and Passport. And that single design choice is the secret to why it lasts. A traditional body-on-frame truck flexes and twists over years of use, and that stress works, rattles, and cracks into everything. The unibody Ridgeline doesn't fight itself like that. The result is fewer squeaks, fewer worn-out bushings, and a structure that ages gracefully. J.D. Power has given recent Ridgelines quality and reliability scores in the mid-80s out of 100, near the top of the segment. Under the hood is Honda's 3.5-liter J-Series 5.6, making 280 horsepower paired with standard all-wheel drive. It's the same family of engine Honda has been refining for over 2 decades in the Pilot, Odyssey, and Accord. These regularly cruise past 200,000 miles, and I've seen them flirt with 300,000 on nothing but maintenance. Average annual upkeep runs around $500 to $600, which is below the segment average, and because half the mechanics in America can work on a Honda Phi 6 blindfolded, labor is cheap. One critical thing on the older first-generation trucks built from 2006 to 2014. That V6 uses a timing belt, not a chain, and it must be replaced around the 7-year mark or the 100,000-mile mark, along with the water pump. It costs roughly $1,000. If you are buying a used one and there is no record of that belt being done, factor the cost into your offer, because if it snaps, you are looking at a destroyed engine. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants a truck for hauling mulch, bikes, camping gear, and getting through snowy winters with car-like ride comfort. Who should skip it? If you are towing heavy loads, the Ridgeline tops out around 5,000 pounds, and if you want to crawl rocks, this is not your rig. But for the daily reality of how most people actually use a truck, it is one of the smart buys on the lot. Number 3, Ford F-150 with the 5.0 Coyote 5.8. I need to be very specific here, because this is where people lose thousands of dollars without realizing it. There are two main engines in the modern F-150, and choosing the wrong one is the difference between a truck that lasts and a truck that nickel and dime you forever. The one you want is the 5.0-liter Coyote V8, naturally aspirated, all aluminum, dual overhead cams, no turbos. It's the same engine family that powers the Mustang GT, just tuned for low-end grunt in the truck. Ford technicians quietly favor it, and there's a reason. Fewer parts, less heat, simpler to fix, and cheaper when something does go wrong. It has one minor quirk owners call the Coyote tick, a faint top-end noise that's mostly cosmetic and rarely affects longevity. Keep the oil changed and they go the distance. The engine I'd steer you away from is the 3.5-liter EcoBoost twin-turbo V6. Now, it makes great torque and tows beautifully, and plenty of owners get high mileage out of them. But it carries a longer list of expensive headaches. The first-generation 2011 to 2016 versions are known for carbon buildup on the intake valves and timing chain wear. And the cam phaser rattle has haunted these engines for years, a problem Ford still hasn't fully sorted even on newer trucks. Add turbochargers, intercooler condensation, and extra ignition wear, and you've simply got more things that can fail, and they cost more when they do. I had a customer 2 summers ago, dead set on a loaded EcoBoost. I asked what he actually did with the truck. Home Depot runs, a boat 2 times a year, kids hockey gear. I told him to find the same truck with a 5.0 instead and put the savings in his pocket. He did. 2 years later, all he has spent is oil, brakes, and a set of tires. So when you shop, pop the hood or check the door sticker and confirm it says 5.0 liter. On the test drive, accelerate hard and listen for any rattle on startup or underload. If you hear it, that is potential cam phaser or chain noise, and that is a walk-away or a serious price cut. Get the V8 and an F-150 will run for a very long time. Number 2, Toyota Tacoma. This is the truck that holds its value better than almost anything on 4 wheels, and it does that for one simple reason. It refuses to die. The Tacoma is the gold standard for mid-size reliability, and the proof is almost absurd. There's a delivery driver named Mike Neal who put over 1.6 million miles on a single 2008 Tacoma. The original transmission lasted past 1.3 million. That's not a typo. Now your Tacoma probably won't see 7 figures, but it tells you what the engineering is capable of. Industry studies routinely show the Tacoma among the most likely vehicles to reach 250,000 miles and beyond. And over the last 20 years, a huge share of every Tacoma ever sold is still on the road. The engines are the key. The 2005 to 2015 trucks used the 4-liter 1 GRFE V6, a naturally aspirated timing chain workhorse. The 2.7-liter 4-cylinder, the 2 TRFE, is even simpler, and it is the one in that million-plus-mile truck. From 2016 on, you get the 3.5-liter 2 GRFKS V6. All of them are naturally aspirated. No turbos, no continuously variable transmissions to slip, no exotic tech waiting to fail. It's not flawless, so here's your inspection list. 1. Frame rust on older trucks. Toyota issued frame corrosion recalls on certain years, so if you're in a salt state, get underneath it and look hard. 2. Paint peeling, especially on the roof and hood of some years, which is cosmetic but expensive to repaint, so use it to negotiate. 3. The 2016 and 2017 models had an annoying transmission hesitation at low speeds. It's a drivability quirk, not a reliability killer, but test drive and stop-and-go traffic so you know what you're getting. 4. The older trucks had lower ball joint and timing-related leaks, so check the front suspension and the front of the engine for seepage. Who should buy it? Anyone who wants a do-everything mid-size that they'll keep for 15 years and sell for a shocking amount of money. Who should skip it? If you need a quiet, plush highway cruiser, the Tacoma rides like a truck and the cabin is tight, but for sheer staying power and resale, nothing in the class touches it. If this kind of straight talk is saving you money, do me a favor and hit subscribe. I've got more videos coming on the exact engines dealers push versus the ones that actually go the distance. Now, number 1, this is the truck I recommend more than any other to people who want to buy once and never think about it again. Number 1, Toyota Tundra with the 5.7-liter V8. If I could only own one truck for the rest of my life, this is it. The second generation Tundra, built from 2007 to 2021 with the 5.7-liter V8, known by its engine code 3URFE. This engine has quietly become the most bulletproof gasoline truck engine of the modern era, and almost nobody outside the shop talks about why. Let me tell you about a customer, a contractor in his 50s, who came in convinced he needed a brand new truck because his old one had 190,000 miles. It was a 2014 Tundra with the 5.7. I put it on the lift, went through the whole thing, and told him the truth. There was nothing wrong with it. The drivetrain was barely broken in. I told him to keep it and drive it another decade. He looked at me like I'd insulted him, then he kept it. He's past 230,000 now. Here's why I trust this engine more than almost anything Toyota has ever built. It's a big 5.7-liter V8, making 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque. But the magic is that it's overbuilt and understressed. Big displacement means it never has to strain to move the truck, so the internals live easy. There's no turbo to fail, and there is no timing belt to replace, just a timing chain designed to last the life of the engine. Toyota X-rayed the engine blocks during production to catch casting flaws before they ever left the factory, and they subjected this engine to more than 800,000 miles of brutal durability testing before it ever went on sale. And the real-world proof is legendary. There's a man named Victor Shepard who drove one Tundra past 1 million miles, retired it, bought another, and drove that one past 1 million too. The 2018 and 2019 Tundras won J.D. Power's highest dependability award for large light-duty vehicles. Independent longevity studies routinely rank the Tundra among the very few trucks most likely to reach 250,000 miles and keep going. Same engine, by the way, that Toyota used in the Land Cruiser and the Lexus LX570, which tells you how seriously they took it. Let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets good. Annual maintenance on a high-mileage 5.7 typically runs $500 to $800 a year, and most of the repairs are just normal wear items. There is no shocking failure waiting for you, the way there is on a turbo diesel or a deactivation V8. Here is your inspection checklist when you go shopping. 1. On the earliest 2007 to about 2009 trucks, check for any check engine codes related to the secondary air injection system. It is a known age-related fault on those early years and worth knowing about. 2. Look for a minor oil seep around the cam towers. Common as these age, usually a slow weep rather than a real problem, but spot it so you are not surprised. 3. These engines can use a little oil at high mileage, so check the level and color and ask how often it has been changed. 5,000-mile intervals on full synthetic are what keep them alive to 300,000 miles. 4. The pro tip: find one owned by someone who used it like a truck but maintained it like a Lexus. Service records are gold here. A well-kept Tundra with 150,000 miles is barely middle-aged. Who should buy it? Anyone who tows, hauls, or simply wants to buy a truck once and drive it for 20 years. Who should skip it? If fuel economy matters to you, walk away now, because this thing gets mid-teens on a good day. And it is a physically large truck, so tight city parking is a chore. But if your goal is the lowest possible chance of a catastrophic repair over the life of the vehicle, there is no better gasoline truck on the used market. Period. So that is the 5 I would put my own money on. Now let's flip it over, because knowing what to avoid will save you more than knowing what to buy. Here are the 3 trucks that look like deals and quietly drain your savings. Drain number 1. GM trucks with active fuel management. This one hurts because the Silverado and Sierra are genuinely good trucks in most respects. The problem is a fuel-saving system called active fuel management, later rebranded dynamic fuel management, on the 5.3-liter and 6.2-liter V8 engines, roughly 2007 to 2021, with the issue heavily clustered from 2014 to 2021. Here's the trap. To save fuel, the system shuts off 4 of the 8 cylinders under light load using special collapsible lifters. Those lifters fail at alarming rates. When one goes, you get a ticking noise, a rough idle, and misfire codes. Catch it early, and you might get away with replacing lifters. Miss it, and the failing lifter wipes out the camshaft, which turns a moderate repair into a major one. Real-world bills land anywhere from $2,500 to $5,000, and I've seen dealer quotes climb to $8,000, $10,000, even $11,000 when they want to drop in a whole engine. There are active class action and lemon law cases over this for a reason. If you already own one, many owners install an active fuel management disabler or do a full delete during repair to stop it from happening again. But if you're shopping used, my advice is simple. Be extremely cautious with these V8 years. Start the engine cold and listen for ticking. Get it scanned for cylinder-specific misfire codes. And if it's clean and you still want it, budget for a delete. Going in blind on one of these is how people end up with a 5-figure repair on a truck they paid $15,000 for. Drain number 2, Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. On paper, the 3.0-liter Eco Diesel V6 in the 2014 to 2019 Ram 1500 sounds dreamy. Great torque, 25+ miles per gallon, and diesel longevity. In the shop, it's a different story. The headline problem is the EGR cooler, which cracks and lets coolant leak into places it shouldn't, a defect serious enough that Fiat Chrysler recalled more than 100,000 of these trucks for fire risk. Then there's the oil cooler, which fails and lets oil and coolant mix, contaminating the whole system. Repair bills for these run from around $1,100 to well over $3,500. And if the turbocharger goes, some shops describe it as a 20-hour job because of how buried it is. On top of all that, the Eco Diesel was caught up in a diesel emissions cheating scandal that triggered a major class action settlement, with claim deadlines running into 2026. I am not saying everyone is a grenade. The early years especially were trouble, and diesel repairs are never cheap. If you are tempted, buy only with full service records, ideally one where the EGR and oil coolers have already been addressed with updated parts, and go in knowing the maintenance costs are higher than a gas truck. For most buyers, the gas V8 Ram is the smarter, cheaper truck to own. Drain number 3, Ford 6.0 Power Stroke Diesel. This is the legend of money pits, the cautionary tale every diesel mechanic can tell you about. The 6.0-liter Power Stroke, found in Super Duty trucks from 2003.5 through 2007 has a reputation so bad that prices look tempting precisely because everyone who has been burned wants out. The problems compound on each other. The oil cooler clogs because of its design. That starves the EGR cooler, which then fails. The added heat cooks the head gaskets, and because Ford used torque to yield head bolts that stretch under pressure, the heads literally lift and blow the gaskets. Then there are the injectors and the fuel injection control module on top of it. A head gasket job on one of these commonly runs $4,000 to $5,000 and up because the cab often has to come off the truck. To truly fix it, technicians bulletproof the engine with upgraded ARP head studs, a better oil cooler, and an improved EGR cooler. That full job can run anywhere from $4,500 to $9,000. Here's the only way I'd ever let someone buy one. If it has already been fully bulletproofed by a reputable diesel shop with documented receipts proving the head studs, oil cooler, and EGR work were done, then it can actually become a solid, capable truck. Without that paperwork, you are buying a lottery ticket where the prize is a 5-figure repair. If you want a reliable, older Ford diesel, the 7.3 Power Stroke that came before it is the one the diesel guys actually trust. Wrapping up, so there it is, 5 trucks I'd put my own money on. The overlooked Nissan Frontier, the unibody Honda Ridgeline that's smarter than the truck snobs admit, the F-150 with the simple 5.0 V8 instead of the turbo, the unkillable Toyota Tacoma, and the king of them all, the Tundra with the 5.7, and 3 to keep your wallet far away from. The active fuel management equipped General Motors 5.8 engines, the troubled Ram EcoDiesel, and the infamous Ford 6.0 Power Stroke. Next time you're standing on a lot and a salesman is steering you toward the flashy turbo diesel with the big rebate, you'll know which engine code to look for and which one to run from. If you want to see the trucks that have genuinely earned legend status in the shop, the ones that just refuse to quit, I've got a whole video on that right here. That's 22 years of watching trucks come and go. Hit subscribe and I'll keep giving you the truth the dealerships won't. Take care of your truck and it'll take care of you. I'll see you in the next one.